Up until now, TCL has mostly been known in the US for its range of TVs and for being the manufacturer behind phones from BlackBerry and Alcatel. But in 2020, it's looking to establish itself as its own brand in the mobile space, and it's starting that push with the TCL10 Pro. I'm Hayato with Android Central, and I've spent about a week with the TCL10 Pro, so let's talk about its ups and downs. First impressions matter, and the TCL10 Pro is off to a great start with fantastic hardware. For context, this is a $450 phone, and in that price range, you don't always get this kind of curved glass on both sides of the phone. I love the feeling of the frosted back panel, and the light to dark gray gradient on my unit looks really nice. There's also no camera bump whatsoever on this phone, with all four of its lenses sitting totally flush in this glossy strip, flanked by two LED flashes for some reason. This is really impressive hardware for a sub $500 phone, though the transition from glass to the metal frame isn't quite as smooth as on some more expensive phones, and you can definitely feel it in your hand if you aren't using a case, but it's really not a big deal. There's also an IR blaster next to the headphone jack up top, which is a sentence I haven't gotten to say in a long time, and it's nice. You can use it to control your TV without needing your remote control. I'm not really sure why this feature disappeared from other phones in the first place. Up front, the 10 Pro has a 6.5-inch 1080p screen that's tuned with TCL's NXTVISION display tech. NXTVISION? NXTVISION? Anyway, it handles things like SDR to HDR conversion and automatically adjusts settings like contrast and saturation. I'm really more into muted, natural colors, so I mostly leave NXTVISION off, and even then the 10 Pro has a pretty punchy display, but this is definitely a nice feature to have if you're into punchy colors and HDR content. The 10 Pro is running Android 10 with TCL UI, and it's a pretty clean interface overall. There aren't too many pre-installed apps or duplicate features, and I like the customizable Smart key that lets you launch various apps or actions with a single, double, or long press. There's also a familiar edge bar feature that tries to make use of the curved screen to give you shortcuts to your favorite apps and contacts, and even a short ruler, but I never really use this kind of feature, and I sort of wish the display wasn't curved in the first place, since accidental touches are definitely an issue on the 10 Pro. So let's talk about the cameras, because that's really where this phone starts to fall apart. The main camera of the four is a 64 megapixel sensor that shoots at 16 megapixels by default, and it's passable at best, but colors are way overdone. The camera over-sharpens like crazy, and even shooting at 6 p.m. on an overcast day, it can't handle the different exposure levels and totally blows out the sky. Things get even worse once you switch to the wide-angle lens, which doesn't even feel like it belongs on the same phone. Colors are wildly different, and there's absolutely zero detail. I really like having a wide-angle lens in general, but they really could have done without this one. As for the other two cameras, you get a macro lens and a sensor that aids in low-light video. Again, colors are totally different on the macro lens, but at the very least, it does capture fairly detailed photos as close as 2 centimeters. Here's the thing though, you can get a Pixel 3a for $50 cheaper than the 10 Pro and get one of the best performing cameras on the market. And if the rumors are true, the upcoming Pixel 4a will be even better for around the same price. You can also pick up the Galaxy A51 or even the iPhone SE for the same $400 and once again get better cameras, or spend $50 more than the 10 Pro and pick up the OnePlus 7T, which has a 90Hz display and super flexible Oxygen OS software. It's tough to recommend the TCL Pro over the competition at its current price, but it's a great starting point for TCL to build its own mobile brand, and if the cameras aren't your main priority, there's still a lot to like about the 10 Pro. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. We've also got a full written review of the 10 Pro and the cheaper TCL10L over at AndroidCentral.com. That's all for now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.